It is Thursday, August 13th. So we had a bullish pennant on the S&P, which is playing out. New historic high, 78.16. Yesterday's candle, Wednesday, was black, didn't play out. We've broken up to the upside. Based on the initial size of the flag and the pennant, in theory, we should keep going for some days, taking us into next week. It is what it is, right? You can argue we're borderline overbought, but that could remain the case for, probably will be the case for some days. Momentum's moderately positive, probably going to kind of stay positive into next week. VIX, I mean, really. 14s. And the default would be, of course, VIX stays low, into the weekend and probably all the way into mid-September. Let's try and go through at least a few individual stocks. Apple's up 1%, cyclically on the low end, probably going to go up. You got the foldable iPhone due either September the 8th or the 15th. And you got to think, we have a good chance of coming up to here, maybe even printing a new historic high. I mean, really. In fact, we have not even noticed it, but look, 299, 300. It's a marginal double low. You could be long Apple with a stop at 299. That'd be a very comfortable trade. Archer, 10%. That is a bullish engulfing candle and a close above a 200 day. That's pretty significant. Yesterday's black candle in the miners played out. Sorry, Nico Eagle was down 2.5%. A little bounce in American Eagle. There is a black candle though. AMD 4301. That's not a black candle, but it's borderline. Wouldn't surprise me if it's down early Friday. There's a few things out there that suggest that Friday will open a little weak. Nothing of significance. Amazon has tagged yellow gap. Again, it's just short-term cooling. ASTS was down 3.7%. Don't really care about some of these. Well, there's one. Bank of America, new historic high, 65.20. But that is a bearish engulfing candle. We've seen a few of them over the last, well, maybe one or two. There was one there. That didn't play out. Anyway, new historic high. It's bullish, right? Again, the old high was 56s, so the most bearish target right now would be 57, 56. It's like that's going to clearly need the main market to go down now. Oh, I'm tired. Let's just keep going now. Here we go. Look at that. BlackRock, new multi-month high. Blackstone also going up. Caterpillar. Yesterday's black candle played out. We're only down 0.1%, but still. Kamiko remains stalled at resistance. Couple of names before I forget. Cisco. Earnings were good. Stock was down 8.4%. Not great. Another one, yes, this morning. Tapestry had earnings which were fine. Stock closed down 16.5%. It is not pretty, right? Tuesday down. Wednesday was a precursor warning under the 10 MA. But worst of all is the fact that we're under the 200 day. You can even see they tried to bounce it to the 200 day, and then the sellers came in again, and they sold it down to near the lows of the day at 128. I mean, this is not pretty. I will say that the cautious, I mean, even the bold actually will arguably be out. So, what else? Before I fall asleep. Yeah, Salesforce software, better day for the software stocks. And in fact, it's almost, yeah, it's not quite a close above a 200 day. But you got to think we're going to keep. I will say actually also yesterday's candle was a reversal, so that played out. Today's candle is actually bullish engulfing. It suggests that we're going to get up to green gap. Disney at 1.5%. Energy transfer, new historic high, but they did settle it red. If we put Mac around, yesterday's black candle played out. Google up 0.8, it's trying to floor from orange gap. Home Depot down. IBM up 0.5%. God, I didn't realize how tired I was until I started doing this. JP Morgan, new historic high. Settling red though. Not that it matters. KKR pushing against resistance. I don't care about those. Lithium America, I mean, earnings, there was no earnings to report. It's basically just an update on the Thacker Pass mine in Nevada. Closed up 5%, 343. Again, I got to think this is going to be around, it's probably going to have a good chance that maybe the sixes by year end. I wouldn't mind owning some. I should own a lot of it, but Meta up 2.8, but still broad chop. Solid day for the semicons, Micron up 4%, which does remind me of a DRAM. DRAM was up 3.9%. Yep. So it would appear the look at this. This is basically it's a mini crash wave for the sector. 81s, 44s, not quite 50%, but close. And now we're at 56s already. And yeah, this is done, right? This is all done. The semicon collapse is done, and now we're bouncing. I would accept that maybe put in a lower high, but if we take out that high, then you'd have to be looking for at least 100, right? Minimum. Netflix up 5%. Talk of Bill Ackman getting involved. I did label this gap here, 96,107. So maybe that's it. And look at the recent low in July from the 65s with a pretty big reversal candle. I'm starting to wonder if that's a key low. It does look like it is now. Nike up a bit, don't care. Nvidia up 0.5%. I'm just down 9% on earnings. Earnings were mixed. The outlook's good though. Yesterday's black candle played out on this, of course. Oh, look at that. Jesus. I didn't even notice this until now. So, another day up for Oscar, up 3.9%, $30.78. I mean, there's a gap here, but it's like, how are we going to get down to here? You could argue we're going to take out the 33s, maybe even next week. I'm telling you, it's more viable the following week, but recent earnings were good. Absolutely midterm bullish. I think Oscar could be $100 next year. Pan American Silver earnings were a double miss. They were still broadly okay, but the market was merciless, knocked them down 9.7%. And again, I will note that it had a black candle yesterday, as did the sector. Of course, lower silver prices today didn't help. Palantir resuming upwards. Don't care about PayPal. Rocket Lab down 1.3. Let's go to SpaceX. 140, 129. What to say about that? I think that's all I'll say about SpaceX. Okay. But yeah, we'll leave it at that for SpaceX. I could say more, but no, I don't think I will. To quote Captain America. Target, not new historic high, but new multi-month high. Tesla at 3.8, 339. So we did print 341, so we have tagged teal gap. Today's candle is borderline bullish engulfing. So we should come up to at least 374, right? That's again, is that next week? Maybe more likely the following week or early September. Take two, don't care about these other things. What is there to say? Um I'll say that gold's currently down $57, 1.3%. That is a bearish engulfing candle. It does lean bearish for early Friday. And we are a little bit, we're clearly just, these candles are a little bit spiky from just under the 200 day. We will have a quick look at silver. Maybe we should take a look at gold before we oil before we disappear. This, in my view, this is a baby bull flag. And that's based on the notion that weekly momentum, if we go to a weekly chart, is due to turn positive. Probably not next week, but the following week. As of August the 24th, in theory, we could get a real burst upwards. And we have upside to 84. Okay, first target, of course, would be the 200 day, which is currently 70. So, if this is a bull flag, we're going to at least come up to $70, which is $5.50 up. Again, maybe next week, maybe the following week, maybe early September, but sometime within here. So that's a pretty good bull flag, though. I like that. And we should conclude with oil. As I speak, it's currently down $2.16, 2.5%. Yesterday's black candle played out. Again, we're clearly stuck at the 84 threshold, and momentum has stalled. And the default would be to expect oil to go down into early September. Recent 74s. Yeah. All right, we're gonna leave it there. I'm tired, way tired. Um, way too tired. Oh my god, it's scary. But anyway, actually, we should conclude with a S&P monthly chart. Let's get some perspective. So the month is still, well, I guess we're almost halfway through the month. So as things are, the S&P is up 309 points, 4.1% at 77.98. We printed 78.16 today. The upper Bollinger is offering 79.39. So there's a good 140 points or so upside in the near term. And 8K does look probable in September. It could happen by the end of the month, but it could be clearly far more viable early mid-September. Momentum is ticking back upwards and should clearly stay positive across September, October, maybe November. It's very difficult now to see momentum unless there's some really shock event between now and say the midterms. The momentum's got to stay positive all the way into next year. And you could even start to think about maybe we're looking at something like this. Although that was for an exceptionally weird time, but Yeah. Anyway, um, for me, it was a pretty good day. That was something. I wish you a good evening and yeah, have a good Friday. Good night.